Hey everybody. Thank you to those that will see me on replay. I appreciate you watching. My name is Shonda Miles, and today I just want to talk real quick about stop doubting yourself. And self-doubt, it is a real thing. I mean, I think that most people struggle with self-doubt, if not on a regular basis, at least, points in our lives, at certain points in our lives. And so when I think about self-doubt, I think about, first I think about fear. Fear is really about what we don't know, fear of the unknown. And so when I think about self-doubt, we're doubting ourselves that we can actually do something. And so it's interesting because when we doubt ourselves, it's as if we're doubting what God has put in us is good enough. And so we don't think about that. We think that, hi, Miss Faye, how you doing? We don't think about the importance of, if we don't believe in ourselves, or until we believe in ourselves, we have to believe in what God has put in us. And so I think it's important to realize that when we stay comfortable, we stay in our current situations because we're afraid to take a step. We stay in this comfort zone because it's so comfortable. And I get it. We stay there because it's comfortable, but no growth is happening when we're in our comfort zone. We have to step out in fear and do the thing that God called us to do. And so I think we get into a circle, if you will, of self-sabotage. We say we want to do something. When it's time to do it, we come up with an excuse and then we don't do it. But we have to learn how to, even when we doubt ourselves, to, step out and do it. And so self-doubt kills so many dreams. It makes us believe things about ourselves that's just not true. Hi, Miss Annette. How you doing? And so we get involved in this circle of self-sabotage just kind of over and over again. We say we want to do something. We don't do it because we're afraid. I think in a lot of ways we're afraid because we're afraid of what people are going to say. We're afraid of what people are going to think if we fail. In some cases, we're looking for approval from somebody who can't give us approval because they don't believe in themselves. So they're certainly not going to believe that you can do something different. And so when you're thinking about doing something and you're believing for something better, maybe it's a better job or more money or a better relationship or whatever it is, sometimes you just got to step out and do it. And it's important to realize that you may fail, but you're going to learn a lesson and you're going to be better off than you were before. And so self-doubt is just, it's unbelievable what it will do to us. It'll keep us stagnant. It'll keep us in this, this position, this same position. And so a few years ago, I heard a lady say that nothing is going to change until we get fed up with our current situation. And I think that's important. It's something to kind of think about while we stay in the same situation over and over again, when we know that if we would do things differently, we know what to do, right? We know if we're doubting ourselves, we know what we need to do. We just got to start believing in ourselves. We got to just step out and start doing things that we know that we should do. And oftentimes we're just afraid. And so Henry Ford has this quote that says, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And so it's just important to start thinking about the people that you're listening to that say that what you can and can't do, what are they actually doing with their lives? And so years ago, my first husband, I was 25 years old. He told me I had planned to leave because he was abusive. And I remember just like a very distinct situation that happened. He was choking me and I was in the shower and the door was open. So my son at that time, I think he was like 5 years old. He was standing there looking as my ex-husband was choking me. And what I was thinking is that, okay, God, if I get out of this shower, I'm going to leave. And so the first thing I thought was that I don't want my children, at that time I only had boys, 3 boys. I don't want them to think that that's how men treat their wives, is to abuse them. So you might say I have crazy faith, and as you kind of hear my story over the next few weeks, you may say that, but I ended up leaving and I probably had $300 or $400. It just didn't make sense. It didn't, for me to leave at that point because I didn't have, I didn't really have the money to leave, but I just decided that if I got out of that shower alive, I was going to leave. And so he had told me that nobody was going to want me because I had 3 kids. At that time, I had a 2-year-old, 5-year-old, and a 6-year-old. And so I did leave and God took care of me, and so it's important that we realize that people will put their insecurities on us. They'll make us not believe in ourselves because they don't believe in themselves. But you got to take a stand for yourself and say, okay, if my situation is going to get better, it's up to me. Nobody's coming to save us. We're going to have to save ourselves. And so you just got to, if you're doubting yourself, you just got to start doing things differently. And I've been reading this study kind of over and over again over the last few years that human resource professionals, they say that they have more people that apply for lower level positions that actually qualify for management and leadership roles, but people don't apply for them, but they will apply for lower level positions. And I always thought that was interesting. If you have the ability, the talents, the skills, to be, in management or leadership, why would you apply for a lower level position? And the reason is because we doubt ourselves. We doubt that we can do it. We doubt that we can do better than we can. We doubt that we're worried about what's going to happen if we fail. We're worried about what people are going to say. But I want you to know that if you're listening to somebody tell you what you can't do, like my ex-husband said, I wasn't going to be able to make it on my own, and I wasn't going to be able to find anybody because I had 3 kids. People are breaking records every single day. People are doing stuff that's never been done before. And the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter who you talk to that tells you what you can't do. You can do it. Nobody knows what you can do. Nobody knows what you've been gifted to do. Nobody knows what your vision is. Nobody knows the vision that God gave you. So you just got to step out there and do it and realize that people doing stuff every day that's never been done before. People breaking records. And so that's what I think about when I want to quit and I'm afraid. And I'm just going to be totally transparent. Before I started this live video, I was doubtful. I was worried about how I was going to do, if anybody was going to show up. And so what I realized, the reason why I went ahead and hit the live or start live button is because I made a commitment to myself that I'm going to go live every single day and give, say and do whatever God has given me to say or do. But I also realized that I can't tell you about self-doubt if I don't actually do what I'm afraid to do, or that what I'm afraid that's going to happen. If people don't show up, people don't say, whatever, you did a good job. But you just fight the fear and you just do whatever it is that you need to do. And most of the time, we're way more talented. We can do way more than we're doing. We're way more talented than we give ourselves credit for. And so if you're having trouble with self-doubt, I want you to think about, just make a list of things that you've already done. Make a list of all your accomplishments, all your certificates, your degrees, anything that you've done. If you're a mother, you're a superwoman. If you're a single mother, a single woman, you get the MVP award because, I watch women that are single mothers every single day that are making it, that are taking care of their kids, that are raising good kids. And they're by themselves and they're doing. And so, you got to cut yourself some slack. You just got to say, okay, what is it that I've already done? And then if you got to just hang on to that. And then 2, I think about God is no respecter of persons. He's, if he bless somebody else, he'll bless you too. And so you just be thinking, you could think about that. You could think about, okay, if God did it for this person, he'll do it for me. And you just take the steps. You just keep doing what you know to do. And I heard that, I read this book where Marshawn Evans Daniels, she said that God doesn't bless us. He doesn't bless the actions that we don't take. God doesn't bless the actions that we don't take. So if we don't take the actions, how can we expect God to bless us? We got to take the actions. We got to do the work. And so even if it's scary, and I know it is, I know it's scary to do the things that we know that we should be doing, but we just got to do the work. And so I find that a lot of people who are older will tell you, they're full of regrets. They're worried. They wish they would have done more. They wish they would have pursued their dreams. They wish they would have did the things that they wanted to do. And so I hope that you'll do the same thing. I hope that won't be you. I hope that you'll take the chances and do the things that you want to do, and that you're not full of regrets, and that you'll believe. And so the second thing is just believe in yourself. I use affirmations to help myself to move forward when I'm afraid, when I'm doubtful. And I will, I say I'm a child of the Most High God. And I just start thinking I'm the head, I'm not the tail. I'm above and I'm not beneath. And you just, whatever you have to do, I use scriptures too. If you got to use scriptures, whatever it is that you got to do to keep yourself going where you can move forward and you can move past the doubt. And just to be mindful that every single person that has a pulse has doubts at some point. It's not just you. Everybody has doubts. And so the next thing is stop saying what you can't do. And so we make that a self-fulfilling prophecy. We say, okay, I can't do this. I can't do this. But you can. And you just start saying, I can do this. I can do this. And just keep going until you're able to get through and do whatever it is, that you need to do. The next thing is just really start thinking about changing how you feel about yourself. And sometimes that comes from getting away from people who are toxic. If you have somebody that tells you over and over again that you're no good, that you can't do that you got your head in the skies, you got to stop hanging around people who are negative, people that don't believe in you. Or you just got to increase your circle to include people who are, where you want to be, who can help push you into your destiny, and who will not let you, will not let you be stuck. And so, sometimes just increasing if you can't get rid of the people that are toxic, sometimes we can't because, it's our loved ones. But if you can get away from them, you should. If you can't, just increase your circle to include people who are going to help you, move forward, help you, push you into your destiny. When I think about self-doubt, it's just the opposite of self-doubt is believing in yourself. So you got to just make up your mind to believe in yourself. And whatever that looks like, if you got to get in the mirror and just say to yourself things that you don't believe yet, but just keep, like I say, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this over and over again until I just believe it for myself. And sometimes I do it. I don't know if I can do it or not, but I just, go on, take the steps, take the actions, do whatever I got to do, because I know that my children are dependent on me. And that's one of my driving forces. I have 5 kids that are dependent on me to leave a legacy for them, for my grandchildren. And so when you feel doubtful, think about the people who are dependent on you, people that are in your circle, your children, your nieces, your nephews, your grandchildren, who are dependent on you to make it, to do whatever it is that you need to do to be successful. And sometimes we won't do the things, we won't take the steps for ourselves. But when it comes down to somebody else depending on you every single day to show up for yourself, every single day to believe that you can have a better life. Sometimes we don't believe we won't do it for ourselves, but we'll do it for our children. We'll do it for our grandchildren. We'll do it if we, concerned about building a legacy. So if you have to do that, then do that. And the last thing is that we have to normalize that we don't have to have approval every time we get ready to do something. I think we look, as women especially, we look for approval. We look for somebody to accept us. We look for somebody to say, you know what, you did that. I believe in you. And so if you're looking for that, I'm telling you right now, you have my approval. You are accepted. You are approved. But you don't have to have that. You just move forward. Just take the steps. Just do whatever you got to do. And don't worry about being accepted, being approved. And when you think about why people that you love or people that you respect or people, because I'm going to tell you this, I had a gentleman tell me who I respected, had the utmost respect years ago, tell me, I don't think you should get your master's degree. And of course, I got my master's degree, of course. But I doubted myself the whole time I was in school because I respected him. And he, said, I shouldn't get my master's degree. But I realized that, and over time, too, I realized that you should move in silence. First of all, you shouldn't it's important that sometimes we just keep whatever God gave us, the vision that he gave us, to ourselves and not go and tell somebody your ideas or your dreams or your goals, because sometimes people can't handle it. Sometimes a dream is not quite ready to be told. Sometimes people can't handle it, or they will push their insecurities on you. So you just got to be thinking, okay, I'm going to do this. I don't have to tell anybody. I don't have to have approval. I don't need acceptance. This is what I'm going to do. I got to do this for myself. And you just move forward. And so I hope this is helpful for somebody. But self-doubt is just, you cannot get anywhere if you're doubting yourself. And expect to fail. Failure is part of the process. You cannot be successful unless you fail. So just realize that failure is part of the process. There is a great, you can learn so much when you fail. You just, fail, figure out, okay, what did I do? What can I do better? How can I change? And then you just move forward and just realize that everybody's failing. Anybody who's doing anything is failing. People that are not doing anything, of course, they're not failing. But I hope this has been helpful for you. So stop doubting yourself and go do what you need to do.